Hello everyone, my name is FARA WARDINA binti FAZIR with metric number 209052.
Hello everyone, my name is ATYRA NADYRAH binti IDZHAM and my metric number is 207372.
Hello everyone, my name is SYAKIRAH binti HASBULLAH and my metric number is 205464.
Hi, my name is SITI AMIRAH and my metric number is 208070.
Hello everyone, my name is ADILA binti KASWADINATA and my matrix number is 207172.
Hi, my name is Siti HAJAR binti Muhammad Zan with matric number 207122.
Hello everyone, my name is MASHITAH binti ISMAIL with metric number 209016.
The presentation title is Valuation Method for Ecosystem Services. Disclaimer: since this group member didn't have a unique voice, I have been recruited by them to explain major part of this presentation. Although I am smart AI who can talk like human, I still need the script. I am scripted originally by this group member. Hope you can notice.
Now, let's talk about the restoration cost method.
What is ecosystem restoration? Ecosystem restoration is the process of assisting the recovery of an ecosystem that has been degraded, damaged, or destroyed, which provides a crucial opportunity to improve the global outlook for biodiversity. Ecosystem restoration can also provide significant societal benefits through the enhanced provision of ecosystem services such as carbon sequestration, flood regulation, clean water. Furthermore, ecosystem restoration can be cost-effective. For example, a recent analysis estimates that restoring 350 million hectares of degraded forest areas globally could generate $7 to $30 of benefits for every dollar invested. Next, what is the restoration cost? Restoration cost is the cost for restoring environmental quality, including the equipment or resource, to its operational status. Besides, restoration can be technically challenging and expensive. Thus, the conservation of intact ecosystems is a more cost-effective option than restoration to ensure the flow of ecosystem services from a given landscape. Now, let's move on to opportunities for cost-effective recovery. Identifying restoration opportunities from an economic perspective requires comparing the costs of restoration with the benefits. Restoration costs include opportunity costs, for example, foregone revenue from agriculture or timber harvest, capital costs, for example, planting or fencing, management costs, for example, monitoring, and transaction costs, for example, negotiating contracts and organizing programs. Meanwhile, total restoration costs vary according to the project's objectives, land use and ownership, the degree of degradation, the type of restoration intervention required, and the time scale for restoration. Next, what are the challenges of achieving ecosystem restoration? The main one is related to the cost of achieving restoration, which is very high. Restoration costs vary depending on the restoration method, from lower-cost alternatives that use natural regeneration with native tree species to higher cost for active restoration that requires site preparation and planting. Moreover, costs for forest restoration increase according to the degree of degradation of an ecosystem. Thus, if the seed of source is sufficient or available, natural regeneration with native species may represent a cost-effective option that may be applied across large areas. Whereas if the supply of seedlings is insufficient or non-existent, or the area to be restored is too harsh, active restoration planting is an option that can be taken. Second, the main obstacle to the complete success of restoration is related to the lack of material regeneration. Restoration projects involve the re-establishment of native tree species, but there is often a lack of knowledge on how, where, and when to obtain genetic material with desired properties for the sites under restoration. And also related to how the collection, storage, and pre-treatment of seeds should be taken as a preliminary action. It also needs to be seen, little knowledge also on the cost-efficient cultivation of the seedlings in the nurseries. In addition, efficient regeneration systems currently exist for only a few species, mostly for use in industrial farms, and these techniques are not always suitable for restoration programs.
Okay, next we will continue this video with relocation cost. Let's go.
What is relocation cost method? This is a cost-based technique that used to estimate the monetary value of environmental damages based on the potential costs of relocating a physical facility that would be damaged by a change in environmental quality. This method relies on data on potential expenditures. Then, data collection for relocation cost method is relatively straightforward. In most cases, required information can be obtained from secondary sources such as expert consultation, professional estimates, historical records, existing literature, and studies, supplemented if required with direct observation. Besides, relocation cost, RLC, method uses costs of relocating threatened communities. The example of relocation cost is the value of groundwater recharge can be estimated from the costs of obtaining water from another source. Then we move to data required for relocation cost method. The first one is the users of the ecosystem service, which is ascertain the benefits associated with a given ecosystem service, how it is used and by whom. Second, the magnitude of the benefits provided by the ecosystem service. Third, information of the product, infrastructure, or technology that could provide an equivalent level of benefits. And lastly, the costs of introducing, distributing, installing, and operating the alternative product, infrastructure, or technology. Relocation cost method has its pros and cons. The advantage is it only useful in valuing environmental amenities in the face of mass dislocation such as a dam project and establishment of protected areas. Besides, the disadvantage is in practice, benefits provided by the new location are unlikely to match those of the original location.
And now, let's move on to preventive expenditures.
The preventative expenditure method is a cost-based valuation method that uses data on actual expenditures made to alleviate all environmental problems. Often costs may be incurred to mitigate the damage caused by an adverse environmental impact. For example, if drinking water is polluted, extra purification may be needed. Then, such additional defensive or preventative expenditure could be taken as a minimum estimate of the mitigation of benefits beforehand. In the preventative expenditure method, the value of the environment is inferred from what people are prepared to spend to prevent its degradation. The averting or mitigating behavior method infers a monetary value for an environmental externality by observing the costs people are prepared to incur in order to avoid any negative effects. For example, by moving to an area with less air pollution at a greater distance from their workplace, thus incurring additional transportation costs in terms of time and money. Both of these methods are closely linked. These methods assess the value of non-marketed commodities such as cleaner air and water, through the amount of individuals are willing to pay for market goods and services to mitigate an environmental externality, or to prevent a utility loss from environmental degradation, or to change their behavior to acquire greater environmental quality. There are some advantage and disadvantage of preventative expenditure. The advantages are better regulatory compliances and preventing pollution. It can improve the performance of environmental with health and safety practices, while for disadvantages are expensive upfront causes and over-maintenance, as the setup costs to initiate the plan can be high and sometimes the inspected maintenance plan can not needed to be checked as often as planned. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, an environmental management hierarchy that encompasses prevention, recycling, treatment, disposal, or discharge had prevention as its top priority. However, it requires a cultural change, one which encourages more anticipation and internalization of real environmental costs by those who may generate pollution. Our responsibility is to utilize our knowledge to take actions that are protective of human health and the environment. In today's global economy, organizations are increasingly called upon to demonstrate management of economic, social, and environmental issues. To promote environmental sound and sustainable development, the Malaysian government has established the legal and institutional framework for environmental protection. With the increase in the amount of legislation pertaining to the environment and hefty increases in charges fee for violators, it is hoped that there will be an improvement in environmental performance.
That's all from us, Group 6. Thank you for listening, and can scan the QR code for the references.